truth is how close thoughts or descriptions can come to represent the naked nature of the feed. But even thoughts remain cast in symbol, right? And they inevitably become symbols upon the feed. And that's thought. So a correct thought is generally accepted as a thought that correlates with quote-unquote reality or circumstance. And they may be poetic or they may be mathematical. But let's change thought for us. Let's give it something else. Let's call it an information packet. And that's just as it sounds, bundles of information. Okay, so now look at your lifetime of thoughts as these information packets that come with their own complex textures. Okay, but the meaning we get from those textures, and even perhaps the order in which they arrive, we still bring that meaning to it. Like there's these nuances. Thought is just information, nuances, information, suggestions. The meaning we derive from it is what represents, the quality of our consciousness, right? And by consciousness, information processing. So the quality of our information processing, of our information processor, determines how much resolution, how much useful meaning, or maybe not useful, maybe funny meaning we get, from that information packet. But that it's essentially thought as this complex texture that's maybe quantizable in a way. The interest for us as conscious entities then becomes on not exclusively the nature of the information packets, like what their content is, but rather our attitude towards them as information packets, and towards information packet, capital I, as a whole. So the whole phenomenon. Words we might use, but I think that this might be a mistake. Let's just call it another information, or I like operating state of conscious awareness. Let's not give it a name, but let's say that's a different operational state of conscious awareness, okay? Like you have one state where you're reading what's in the information packet, and you have one state when you, actually opening it up and going into it, and another state where you're just kind of letting them pass, letting them come. The attitude we imagine, and the word I was going to avoid was metacognitive or metaconscious. Okay, but let's say that, okay, metacognitive or metaconscious involves easing the tension that we have of examination and dissection of these information packets as they climb in, and instead to generally recline into a more kind of indifferent attitudes towards them. And I think a quote-unquote spiritual practitioner or meditative or contemplative practitioner might say to let them pass through you like the wind. Though these letters are addressed to you, do not so compulsively open every single one and read from end to end and turn it around and read the back and look at the paper and all that. Instead, let them wash over you like weather. Okay, so here, if we do that, if we have this kind of eased attitude and just kind of let them show up, not really freak out about them, but instead just let them show up, we can begin to discern, I think, clouds, sort of bundles, types. So you get types of information packets, like ones that are really judgmental, and ones that are really super negative, and ones that are argumentative, and ones that are logical, and ones that are playful, and ones that are that they all have these textures to them. There's types. There's depressing thoughts, and there's encouraging thoughts. But they all have that. We know the texture of a depressed thought. We know the texture of a inspirational or charges you up kind of thought. Something that encourages. We begin to see those things, and I think we can start to operate a little bit more, conscious of consciousness or aware of awareness, that kind of thing. So we get kind of a wider scope than just a microbial one, just one that's reading every bit of punctuation, you know. So we must become comfortable in operating in both states, and we already sort of do this anyway. Like, we all kind of veg out. We have times where we veg out, and whatever thought comes doesn't really matter because we are really vegging out. And then we have mania, and I don't want to say that in the kind of like psychoanalytic way of mania, but we have excitement. We have we get thrilled, we get or and sometimes the thrilling doesn't feel so good because it becomes anxious, but yeah. So I just wanted to, that's what Max and I were talking about tonight, was this kind of stuff. To repeat just a little bit, truth is how close thoughts or descriptions can come to represent the naked nature of the feed or reality, but those thoughts will always remain symbolic, cast in symbol, and like George Carlin said, leave the symbols to the symbol-minded. And if we think of thoughts as information packets, then I think that drastically changes our attitude towards thoughts, because thought is still kind of like an ephemeral word. We know what it means, but it's still kind of like, it's very ancient, If we want to go into like a way of kind of describing them so they're less nuanced, is to call them information packets. So what do you think of your information packets? What do you think of that? Let us know. Relax, though. Give it a shot. Recline and let them wash over you. Yeah. Take a look at that. Yeah. Take a look at that. That's been kind of a valuable tool for us, and it might be one to you.